Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the E-commerce Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Brett Curry, and man, I am pumped about today's topic and guest. We are going to do a merchant deep dive. This episode of the E-commerce Evolution podcast is brought to you by Zipify and Zipify Pages. If you are on Shopify, you need to check out Zipify Pages. It's an easy-to-use, customizable, drag and drop landing page builder. So now you can take your best marketing ideas, things you learned from the podcast, things you learned from Ezra Firestone, and utilize those in drag and drop fashion using Zipify Pages. Also check out one-click upsells. Visit zipify.com. We're talking to Jared Mitchell, just an awesome guy that I've really enjoyed getting to know over the last several months. And he's the co-founder of skincarebyalana.com. He's also the senior e-commerce analyst for the Neil Patel Group. And so Jared is a really sharp guy. He and his wife have built this amazing business, skincarebyalana.com. Excited to dive into that story. And there's going to be so much that you guys can learn from this. And so with that, Jared, welcome to the show, man. And thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, thank you so much, Brett. It's awesome to be here on my very first podcast ever.
Yeah, and I feel honored. I feel honored that you accepted my invite to be on my podcast. And you know, Jared, you teach, you consult, like you're rocking the game. I am shocked. And you got a killer e-commerce business. I'm shocked this is your maiden podcast voyage, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I've been asked to speak at some trade shows and stuff before, but it just never really seemed like my jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right on. All right, dude. Well, let's dive in. So I would love for you to share kind of the background of Skincare by Alana. And so if you don't mind, talk about how you and your wife started the business and explain, why skincare, because we in full disclosure, we work with Jared, we help with some of the marketing for Skincare by Alana. But why skincare? Because man, that is a competitive, difficult space. And why e-commerce? So why did you guys go down this route?
Awesome. Yeah, this is the funniest, most random story ever, and I'll try to keep it brief. But basically out of college, my wife and I met at college and were married shortly after. Out of college, I kind of had this perception that I was going to do what my dad did, in the sense that let's sit behind a desk and work for someone, right? And so I got a job out of school, and it was like being in jail. It was like the worst thing ever. And I didn't quite understand what was happening to me, So anyways, I bailed. And, I tried to think of what I could do. And basically I'd been playing music a long time, and I was in a band, believe it or not. And so I decided to focus on that and start a decking business. And basically, that is where I learned how to build a website on Yahoo Sites. You remember that?
Yahoo Sites, absolutely.
I mean, awesome. they might still be around. I have no idea,
Yeah, I don't know.
So I started this decking business because in high school I'd learned the trade. And
just to clarify, Jared, you're saying decking, like building outdoor decks? Am I hearing you correctly?
Oh yeah, dude. Put on your knee pads, build an outdoor deck.
Nice.
That allowed me to play music and surf and all this. And so anyways, I built this website. And that is when I figured out and learned how to build sites and got started with SEO. All of my leads for the decking business started coming through this website. And I figured out link building, some on-site optimization, things like that. So I was doing that, and my knees are hurting really bad. And my
the knee pads were not enough. That was not
No, and so oddly enough, my band at the time signed a major record deal to Interscope Records. And the funniest tweak on that story was the guy who signed us is the same one who broke off and started Beats with Dr. Dre. So
no way.
Yeah, very successful dude. And kind of what happened is we were signed, and the iPod took off, and so any new band signings kind of got pushed away. And the housing market took its first drop-ish around. Yeah. So the leads for decking were just pretty squashed, and the music career was not really happening. So
So just because I'm curious, are you lead singer, you guitar player, you drummer?
Oh no, I'm just slapping the bass over here.
Yeah, dude, bass. Bass is sometimes underappreciated, but the bass, man, without the bass, the song's totally different, right?
You got to have the right bass. You got to have the right bass, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So we've gotten this record label bonus back when you could still get those. And I'm looking at my wife like, I don't really have much going on right now. And so she grew up in the beauty industry. Her parents owned salons, spas, and day spas in Northern California. And she said, well, I'm performing facials. I'm leasing this room in this day spa, and I'm selling this product line to my customers. What if you figured out how to build an e-commerce site and tried to sell this product line that I'm retailing online? I said, I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. And so I went down to Costco to go buy some hot dogs or whatever you do at Costco, right?
Right.
And those flyers on the left-hand side?
Yep.
So one of them was like how to build an e-commerce site.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I picked it up and I went home and I stayed up almost all night. And the next day we had a makeshift site. I couldn't figure out how to get the shopping cart to work. So it was call to order, but we had our website. And
what did you build it on? What platform did you build it on?
It was a company called ValueWeb that was owned by a company called Hostway. And then they turned into Pro Stores, and then eBay bought Pro Stores. Okay. And long ago, we migrated away to Magento. So now we're on Magento.
Got it. So, man, stayed up all night. By morning time, you're like a little elf building the Christmas toys while the kids sleep, and then you wake up and you got an e-commerce store or a call to order store anyway. So when did you first kind of know that, man, we're on to something? Like people like this, people are buying. When did you first start having some successes?
Well, we didn't have a lot going on after I built the website, so we were like, let's take a vacation. So we went up to Oregon to my parents' house, and one night I thought, why don't I figure out AdWords? So I hopped on and went through the wizard and figured out AdWords and got it all set up around this product line we were offering for call to order. And I didn't know how I was going to go because the clicks were like 20 or 30 cents. And that was really expensive. And, I could waste a lot of money. And I didn't see anyone else selling this product line online. And I had no idea how to look and see if people were interested. So the next morning, we turned on ads and all the calls were directed to our cell phones. And 15 minutes later, we made our first sale at $125 and customer paid shipping.
Wow.
And I looked in Google, I was paying about 30 cents a click, and my cost for that sale was like $3 or $5.
Wow.
And I looked at my wife, and literally, as she's on the phone, we're like trying to think of all the things we need to write down to fulfill an order. We're like, we need like a credit, we need like a shipping. I had no freaking clue. And she got off the phone, and I remember it was one of those moments where we like threw our hands in the air and we're like, we just made more money in 5 minutes on that call than you do in 2 hours doing services, right?
Wow, that's awesome.
So we kind of were like on vacation. We're like, if we can find 10 more lines like this, I don't think I need to worry about where my next gig or where my next deck is going to come from. And 13 years later, we expanded to 300 product lines. So that was kind of the aha moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's so funny. Like, yeah, not even knowing how do we take an order? How do we fulfill this order? But figuring it out as you go. I like that. That's kind of the story of an entrepreneur. I've heard Tim Ferriss and other people say that, being an entrepreneur is like jumping off a cliff and constructing an airplane on the way down. And I think that's pretty accurate, at least in some ways. So let's kind of we're gonna hit some rapid fire different topics because I know you guys have done so well and you've done well in a lot of areas. So you guys are on Magento now. I know you're also doing quite a bit on Amazon as well. And so one of the questions we get asked a lot, and I get to speak at some events and of course do the podcast and meet a lot of merchants is how should we be thinking about Amazon? What should we be doing with Amazon? And so do you want to talk a little bit about how you guys approach Amazon? Are you kind of like Amazon's a friend, Amazon's a foe, Amazon's a frenemy? what does your Amazon strategy and approach look like for Skincare by Alana?
Yeah. I think anyone who says Amazon is their friend is like not looking to the long term,
Right. Yeah.
So I definitely consider them a frenemy. And you've heard it said, and we've all heard it said, like with Amazon, we have our stores, but we don't own our stores. They can take them away at any time and not give them back. And really, you don't have the power to argue with them in a sense.
Yes.
And we also don't own our customers on Amazon.
Right. Not your customer relationship. That's Amazon's. Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to say it out loud or admit it, but we all know that eventually they're going to get into manufacturing more and more, probably in-home 3D printing, so on and so forth. So for now, they're our friends, but in the future, I think we might just all be working for them if we don't figure out how to make completely unique products and how to keep up with their marketing, right?
Yep. I totally agree. And I think, Amazon offers so much opportunity right now. They own 52% or thereabouts, depending on the survey you look at, 52% of the product search. So, over half of the product searches begin on Amazon. And I'm a Google guy, so that pains me a little bit to say, but that's the way it is. And so tons of opportunities on Amazon. I think those opportunities will continue. But yeah, it's dangerous to have all your eggs in one basket. You never know what they're going to do. You never know if they're coming after your category. So I think you're dead on right there. How has your Amazon strategy shifted? Well, first of all, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been on Amazon, and how has your Amazon strategy shifted for your company, or has it?
Sure. Yeah, it has. We've been on Amazon for 5 or 6 years on skincarebyalana.com. Now it's consisting of like 50% of our sales. And at first it was like, I remember when we turned it on, it was like 1 or 2 sales a day, and we were stoked. We're like, oh, wow, we found a new way to get sales. This is going to be great. It probably won't go anywhere, but
right.
Who knows? And so now it's like I have a full-time person in-house running my Amazon department, and shutdown for us is a huge factor because we are selling so many SKUs and we aren't in control of the manufacturing or Amazon. So now we have another factor that we have to worry about. Recently, we were shut down. We lost a bunch of money because one of our manufacturers decided to send us 700 bad batch sunscreens, and we got real. Yeah. So it is a gnarly, time-consuming thing, but when you have the right stock at the right price on the right day with the right pricing tool, like you're drinking Mai Tais on the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So we also, that's one of the reasons why we started our own product line is we wanted to have something that was unique and branded. So we have a separate store that we use for our brand, and we've been pushing that pretty hard as well.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, talk a little bit about that, because this is one of the things, and I was just able to record a podcast recently with Andrew Udarian, and we were kind of talking about this topic, what companies are going to survive and thrive as Amazon continues their dominance. And we really believe that, companies that own their own brand, you've got this strong brand and this strong personality, which your wife does an amazing job, like connecting with her audience, and you guys have great education, and but also having your own line. I think that's super beneficial. I'm really glad you're doing it. You want to talk a little bit about the kind of the evolution of that? Like when did you guys decide to do that, and any lessons you've learned along the way of branding your own products?
Yeah. Do you remember, did you ever shop or like buy business cards on like Vistaprint maybe like 10 years ago?
Yeah. I actually did. Yes.
Yeah. So they were the first company I remember shopping with. And I remember they would do pre-purchase and post-purchase upsell, right? So it gave me this idea of like, how can I do this? And the technology just was not there yet. So I don't know, it must have been 7 or 8 years ago, I added an upsell offer to our confirmation page, right, on Magento. And where I'm going with this is we decided if we wanted to upsell someone, we wanted it to be on our own brand.
Yeah, it's great. Brilliant idea.
So we came out with a eye cream as a free gift and used it as an upsell on a confirmation page and started using it as a free gift offer to our customers. And to our surprise, people started purchasing. And we just hadn't realized that people follow my wife, because our store is so centered around her and her personality and her name. And so we decided about a year ago, which is probably late, but a year ago to start this brand like full force. So over the last year, she's basically been developing the product line, coming out with new products. We're currently redoing the branding. And it's just so crazy, Brett, because we did some reports and we haven't really launched the line yet. And it's currently our 5th largest product line that we sell on our retail site, skincarebyalana.com. And it's only been a year.
Wow. And you really haven't pushed it nearly as hard, I'm sure, as you have some of the other brands. And some of the other brands have a following, right? They've been doing marketing on their own or whatever. There's kind of built-in customer base, so that's impressive to see that kind of growth. Yeah,
we're really stoked. And another thing that I think these companies aren't thinking of is, you're going to have a physical product line, whether it's in skincare, coffee, whatever. But what if you had a digital product? So like we're launching early next year a digital product that teaches estheticians, it's gals like that give facials and do waxing, in case you didn't know, how to do what we have done online. So for a few $100, they'll be able to buy into our digital course and watch our videos and take our recommendations and set their business and their website up to hopefully do something similar to what we have done. And the reason we're releasing that, obviously we want to make a little money and popularize my wife's brand a little bit more. It's going to open up a lot of wholesale opportunities for us to push our product line into these estheticians, people who buy our course. It's also going to give us a lot more SEO value around our other sites. If we're sort of taking the mastermind approach, it's going to be a lot of good related links and content.
Dude, that's brilliant. I love that idea, man. That's got my marketing wheels turning like crazy. That's really powerful one because, and obviously your wife is in this crowd, so she knows it. But there's a lot of estheticians out there that are probably wondering, how can I make a few extra bucks? How can I grow this and build this into a real business? Probably they never have any training on how to do that. All their schooling and classes were just how to apply product and stuff. So. Awesome opportunity there. Probably a really hungry market, and then love those distribution opportunities. So that's fantastic. So any idea when that's going to launch, or is that still in the works?
Well, we wanted to do it fourth quarter of this year, but we're in the middle of moving away from a inventory system, to a new one, and that's kind of gotten in the way. So I think we're going to do Q1 of next year. Everything's written, all the software is built, and we just need to record the videos. And so we're just kind of not trying to stress ourselves out about it.
Yep. Good call. Well, exciting. Excited to hear how that goes. So you talked about this upsell and using that to launch your product, which is brilliant. That's a great marketing tactic, to do an upsell. Which kind of leads to the next question. What are 2 or 3 of the conversion boosters you guys have implemented into your store? Because you guys been very successful in your business. I know you're thinking about this, and you and I are in Ezra Firestone's community together, so I get to see some of the questions you're asking, and I know you're always thinking about conversions. But what have been 2 or 3 of the more effective conversion boosters you've implemented lately?
2 or 3. I might have 4 if that's okay.
Oh yeah, bonus time.
Okay,
I like it.
Well, the best convert CRO test we ever did was 7 or 8 years ago with Optimizely, and we had an agency set it up for us, and they were awesome. And it was just the free shipping test for shipping all orders. We traditionally had always offered free shipping on all orders, and I think we were the first in our little vertical to do it, and that's one of the reasons why we blew up so fast. But as soon as they added that header to the top of all of our pages, free shipping on all orders, no minimums, our conversion rate went up. Well, fast forward 7, 8 years later, increased cost of shipping, competition. I wanted to know how many of my orders were under $25. And there was a lot of them. And those orders under 25, we really weren't making any money on. So I wanted to run a test on our checkout and cart pages where half of our people got the normal free shipping offer. Half the other people got free shipping over $25. Really tricky test to set up because every single page that referenced free shipping on all orders, that one took us a while to set up, but it was the awesomest test ever because the $25 and up ended up winning.
Whoa.
Therefore, I saved like a ton of margin on shipping. And also, most of those people who are placing the $19 orders, they just ended up buying another product, right? To get free shipping. So it raised my average order size. Awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Pre-purchase order bump, that was something Ezra taught me, and I didn't ever do it on my own, have a dedicated page. And we on skincarebyalana.com that's promoting our own brand, and really hesitant to do it, right? Because it interrupts the checkout process. So, we decided to put it up on a test, and it not only raised our average order size on our own brand, which is great for margin, right? But it also increased our conversion rate. So that was a big.
So talk about that, the pre-order purchase bump. What does that look like, and how do you execute that?
Sure. If you want to know exactly how it looks like, you can go to skincarebyalana.com, add a product cart, and then press the cart button in the upper right-hand side of the page, and you'll see ours. Basically, it's a page that you insert generally in between the product detail page and the cart or checkout process. That's like, you're never going to see this page again. Here's a one-time offer that we have for you. We lay ours out with one master offer and then 3 sub-offers. And what I do that I've never seen anyone else done that I highly recommend is a large button below all the offers that say, add all of these offers to cart. So they click that button and it raises their average order size by $125. They love it because they're getting everything at like 50% off, and it's all my own products. So my margin's
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That is a brilliant strategy. I love that page. And yes, you get the other offers. You got like 3 of them that are kind of laid out, and the discounts that are there, and then you can buy now the individual ones, or there's the add all offers to cart. That's awesome. And so that's worked really well then, huh?
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like depending on what vertical you're in, what you're selling, like if you're set up on more of like a direct response or impulse buy, you want to be really careful with implementing one. I mean, you don't really want to interrupt the checkout process. So I've seen it work for companies that are more like ours, and then I've seen it be a hindrance for some companies who just need to really get people through the checkout. So, but overall, it's a real smash.
Yep. And I think that's an important note when it comes to CRO in general, is that I think there's some general things that would probably apply to everybody. If you offer better deals on shipping, that's gonna likely work. But yeah, depending on how people like to purchase your product, it may just be that the biggest reason I buy from you is because I can get in, check out, and get out of there because I really don't like to think about your product, if it's a commodity or something. But yeah, for skincare, this is something the person may spend more time on, and they want to be educated on. They want to see other offers. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's good. That's good. Hey, Brett Curry here. A quick note from one of our sponsors, and then we'll get right back to the episode. So our primary underwriter is OMG Commerce, the company that I'm the co-founder and CEO of. And as many of you know, we are a Google Premier partner. And in 2016, we were one of the fastest growing Premier partners in the entire world. Very proud of that. And so we build full funnel campaigns for e-commerce companies. So search, shopping, video, display campaigns, we build those out. It is now time to get ready for the holidays. And so I've got 2 free offers for you, a resource and then an offer. And let me talk about the resource first. So we just recorded a webinar with our 2 Google reps. So our 2 reps flew into our headquarters here in Springfield, Missouri. We recorded a webinar, The Ultimate Guide to Holiday Prep. We talk about campaign structure. We talk about smart bidding. We talk about budgets. We talk about feed readiness and a host of other things, some new stuff coming from Google. It's a fantastic webinar. If you'll go to omgcommerce.com/learn, you'll see a link to download that webinar. I suggest you check it out, share it with your team, completely free of charge. The other thing is we would love to schedule a strategy session with you. So if you feel like your campaigns are not quite ready for the holidays, we'd love to schedule a strategy session, look at how your full funnel approach is looking right now, provide suggestions, provide feedback, and potential ways we could help. So if you'd like to schedule that strategy session, go to omgcommerce.com, click on Get Started, and there'll be a form there to schedule a strategy session. Love to connect with you. And with that, back to the episode.
Recently, we retested our landing page for one of our top product lines. And we reran Hotjar, and we redid some exit surveys, right? And what we found was people, they didn't really care about any of the junk we had at the top of the page with regards to branding or banners or this or that. All they really care about is the products and finding the right category of products and the site search. We put up the dinkiest page, non-flashy, just emphasizing those three things, and it's destroying the control.
Wow.
And the funniest thing about that is when we tested the same thing 3 or 4 years ago, our current control page won. So my pep talk is like brands change, audiences change, and people change, right? So don't forget to retest and resurvey and reanalyze those top pages, over a certain amount of time, depending on your vertical.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So you guys used Hotjar to do the kind of the heat mapping and then a survey as well, or you just did the survey?
Yeah, in general, we do exit surveys with Qualaroo, and then we use Hotjar. But, there's like Crazy Egg. I think Hotjar even does exit surveys now. It's all kind of meshing together. As far as what we use, I just say whatever you're comfortable with. Was that what you were wanting to know? Yeah.
I was just curious about what tools you use there. And then that's really interesting. So the simplistic page that was not converting a few years ago, that's by far the winner today. That's fascinating.
Yeah, site search is something that e-com owners, I think, overlook a ton. Whether you're a brand or more of a marketplace site, retail site like mine, making sure you're hooked up in analytics, making sure you put your dynamic on-site recommendations on every single site search results page, even the incomplete pages, is a huge victory for you. Anytime anyone uses your site search, the chances of them converting are double of your regular users. So you really want to make sure that all the searches are complete, and it's going to show you how to sort of what products you're missing that you either need to create or need to bring on to sell, because people will search for them and you will not have them. And then that is all right there in Google Analytics, right?
Yeah, that is something we see a lot too, that people don't mine that data enough. That is tremendous customer feedback. That's not opinion data. I love doing surveys, and I'm excited to hear that you're doing surveys and getting actionable data from it that's leading to changes that's working. But sometimes you ask questions and people don't really know how to respond, or they give you the answer they think you want to hear, But watching site search, like that's seeing measured behavior. I'm seeing what someone's typing in. I'm seeing how many people are typing that in. So yeah, that's great. Have you guys used that data then to add product lines or to shift your offering at all?
Basically that is how we, merchandised skincare.alana.com. I figured out how to run those reports early on in the game. And I just saw what products people were searching for. And literally, I look at that list once a month and then reach out to those companies.
Wow.
And, for you guys who own brands, just seeing what people are searching for that you don't have could be a great sort of R&D tool.
Yep, that's phenomenal. Okay, cool. So, man, you're on a roll, dude. You got, I think you said you had 4 CRO tips. Yeah. Was there another one, or did we do 4? I lost count.
Last one is Quiz Funnel. And
Quiz Funnel, okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of crazy, but I learned of this one from Neil, and we started using it on our blog. And so if you go to our blog, it's just skincare.alana.com/blog. You click on one of the articles at the top, you'll see, we have some sort of survey up. Not survey, but quiz. Are you taking the right steps for your skincare? We're testing some variations, so I'm not sure what you'll see. Anyways, we are finding that the people that take and complete these quiz funnels are like our best customers, right? And the best thing about a quiz funnel is like to get their answers, generally they have to give you their email address. So this person has answered 4 or 5 questions. They're there reading on your blog. They're then willing to enter your email. They're way more likely to enter your email than any other pop-up you're going to offer them, really. And those people, when we tied them in to our customer base, we realized that they were like our best new customers. So we're testing right now, putting it on our e-commerce site, not just on our blogs. And so far it's performing really well. But what people don't think to do, those quiz funnel, customers, you'd call them, We created a lookalike audience from those people on Facebook, and it was psychotic.
Wow.
So that's one really cool conversion strategy we've been using.
Man, that's phenomenal. So what kind of, like, what is this? And then obviously go to the blog and check it out. But what kind of quiz questions are you asking? What does that look like?
So the technology we use is called lead quizzes, and I would love to answer your question. I've never even gone through it. I don't even know.
Right on.
My girls did it, and so I guess everyone just, if you want to have better skin or whatever it's asking you, go ahead and just copy what we did.
Check it out. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, that's phenomenal. Well, cool. So, man, that is some good stuff, some good conversion rate stuff. I appreciate you being so open and sharing that. That's phenomenal. Let's talk a little bit about the traffic side of the equation. So what are some of the traffic sources you're most excited about right now? I know you mentioned some lookalike audiences on Facebook, so I'm sure that's part of it. But what are you excited about on the traffic side?
Well, I first of all, you got to start with the honorable mention, and that would be Amazon, the biggest chain. Yeah. And the funniest thing is no one, I just feel like whenever I consult clients, some of them are against Amazon, surprisingly. And I try to convince them, like, if you're on Amazon, people are going to search for your brand off of Amazon.
Yes, right? For sure.
It is a traffic source, and a huge traffic source, because we all know if we're doing well on Amazon, Amazon controls 50% of the search. So you're actually missing out on branded organic search if you're not on Amazon.
Yep.
That's been a huge traffic source for us. And one of the ways we've grown our SEO. Google still and currently really loves branded search. And it has to be consistent and over a course of 2 or 3 months. But we've seen a huge increase in organic traffic because we're doing better on Amazon.
So explain that just a little bit, Jared. So because you're doing well on Amazon, you're getting more traffic to skincarebyalana.com, or what do you mean? Or your Amazon listings are rising in the organic Google rankings. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, both are true, but generally what happens is people are searching for our brand or product line on Amazon. Okay, so they'll search for Skincare by Alana to try to find our store, something like that, or Elena Mitchell to try to find our products. Or they will be searching online for something else and come across our listings, and they'll go over to Google because they want to know who Elena Mitchell is or Skincare by Alana is. The latter is where you really get a bang for your buck, because Google starts seeing an increased search volume around your branded term.
Got it.
Yep. For searchers clicking on your website. Obviously, the more of those signals that Google is seeing, the more juice and more priority they're going to give your site. Therefore, it's a quick win. And it's free in the sense that with Amazon, people are so bummed because you got to pay 15% in cost of ads or something, if you want to advertise. But ultimately, you're paying that much for ads, getting people to your site anyway. So I consider it like a free traffic source, right?
Yeah, that's tremendous. Okay, so honorable mention goes to Amazon. I'm with you. What's next?
Our three have not changed for the last probably 8 years. And so organic, email marketing, and paid are our three biggest sources of traffic. Organic has grown for us, I think, double over the last year. And it's just because of all the content marketing we've been pushing, and a lot of our articles have been doing really good. So we've been spending a lot of time. Our goal is to be releasing 3 pieces of content a week, each at over 2,200 words. And when we promote them, in general, we're doing quite a big boost on Facebook, but also we're announcing the articles via push notification.
Nice.
And via Facebook Messenger through ManyChat, Instagram, etc. Right? So that's really helped organic over the last year. Email marketing, we're only doing about 10% of our total traffic right now in email. And I'd like to be up towards 30. So we've been working like crazy, setting up a bunch of new campaigns. And paid, we just hired this awesome paid search agency.
Tell me more about this.
And, bringing you guys on, one of the deals was we want to put more of an emphasis on our shopping feed, and Brett's like the YouTube ninja. So, we're excited to see the changes that brings us as well. So
yeah,
that's kind of
Cool. Yeah, we're working some new Google Shopping twists and turns, and then also some YouTube stuff for you, which I'm really excited about that. So I want to go back to the content for just a minute. So you're writing these 2,200 word articles. How are you guys picking those? Are you guys just trying to like listen to customers and figure out what people are talking about, or is it keyword research driven, or how are you creating this content?
We look at our site search reports and see what people are searching for in our store that they're not able to find. That's one way. We use tools like BuzzSumo, Google Trends, and some other scraping tools that scrape forums, popular forums, for beauty questions and answers to see kind of what's trending, like Quora and things like, Yahoo questions, things like that. And then we also just have a bunch of girls in staff here that follow a bunch of blogs and follow trends. And we kind of have this like fun marketing meeting once a month, and we call it the trends meeting. And we take all this research and we have this kind of like TMZ style meetup where everyone's got their computers in front of them and making jokes and making fun of each other.
That's awesome. And,
That's awesome. We kind of use this creative energy to literally write up our ideas on a whiteboard, come up with like 20. Then my wife comes in and really says, these 10 we should focus on.
That's amazing. I love that. It sounds really fun. And, I talk about this with a lot of guests, the content marketing piece, because it can be intimidating. It can be a real chore. So you kind of need to have a process. Sounds like you've got a team behind it as well, which is awesome. So cool. And then what about Facebook? How is Facebook going? And you mentioned ManyChat. I've heard several people talk about that. I know Ezra uses it. The guys at Digital Marketer use it as well. But any thoughts on that? And are you using ManyChat for things outside of content marketing?
Yeah. Our primary motivation for getting ManyChat up and running would be to promote sales. But, if we're doing that all the time over all of our platforms, we're not really building much of an emotional connection with our audience. So we kind of inject the articles here and there to do that. If you want to learn more about ManyChat and Facebook Messenger, I would say you absolutely need to go and follow Ezra Firestone. So this guy's like the ninja right now, and he'll tell you full disclosure. I think he does have some vested interest in ManyChat, but that's not really the point. Right. He's going to teach you how to set up all the right funnels, and whether you're going for sales or blog traffic. And he can help you build that ManyChat list. He can help you build your email list and build your sales through Facebook Messenger. A lot of people go shopping at the store. I'm going to buy ketchup completely different than how Brett Curry would. Okay. It's in the same way that we need to develop different touch points for our customers because they have different shopping habits. Some of them will respond to Facebook Messenger.
And I don't buy ketchup, by the way. I'm more of a hot sauce kind of guy, so no ketchup for me. You can keep it. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Dude, I'm literally starting at a bottle of Tapatio that I had with a friend.
Yeah, that a boy. I'll have to introduce you to my favorite hot sauce. Marie Sharp's. You ever had it? You can get it on Amazon now. So it's a product of Belize. But Marie Sharp's, I'll hook you up. It's amazing.
Marie Sharp's. Okay, I'm going to trade you a bottle of hot sauce that will blow your mind.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
It's called SoCal hot sauce. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
So I'm writing a note right now. It used to be called TJ's SoCal hot sauce for bread.
All right, this is awesome. So hey, this is fun. We had a little riff on hot sauce, but anyway, back to yes, we will shop. We will buy differently for sure.
Yeah, and so let's hit people in different ways, right? So some people are going to respond to your email. Some people hate email, and they're going to respond to a push notification. They're going to be spending all their time on Facebook or Instagram. So, I think multi-channel targeting is really important, and Facebook Messenger and push notifications are a couple really innovative ways that you can easily take advantage of those right now that a lot of businesses are not. And then the rumor is that Apple has either already or is opening their API soon, and then it's going to get bonkers.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really interesting for sure. So, well, Jared, we're kind of running out of time. This has been phenomenal. I know as people are listening in, they're thinking, man, this guy, first of all, this guy knows his stuff. Secondly, he's testing and trying everything. And so it's no wonder you guys have done so well. You're also the senior e-commerce analyst for Neil Patel. Talked about that kind of in your intro, which I know most people listening will know of Neil Patel. He's like this mad scientist, marketing guy that a lot of people know, and really, really brilliant. So can you share just a few takeaways, like as you've been consulting now with lots of e-commerce companies, what do you feel like are some of the keys that separate the successful from the unsuccessful companies that you've worked with?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay. First, I'd say the leadership. Like, dude, have you ever tried to manage a millennial, Brett?
Yeah. Yep. Got several on the team. Yeah. I'm not sure if they listen to the podcast, so I'm only going to say nice things. No, I'm just kidding. Our team, actually, we got an awesome team. But anyway, go ahead.
Technically, I'm a millennial, so it's just kind of a head trick.
Okay. Yeah.
Leadership is just like I worked with multi-million-dollar companies, and the leader is kind of a kook, like the company's not going anywhere, Right. So that's like when I'm evaluating if we should work with a company or not, because thankfully we have that privilege. First, we get on the phone with who's in charge and who we're going to be talking to. You can tell right away.
Yep.
So I start there. And then second of all, you see so many people come through the funnel that are not passionate about what they do. So, there's a lot of thought leaders out there right now that sell you products of how you can make, $10 million in 2 months on Amazon or whatever. And people get pushed into these things almost like it's an MLM, and they start coming out with these products they have zero vested interest or passion about.
Right. Just to get rich quick ploy, really, or get rich quick play, not something based on passion or need or desire. Yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, why are you selling helmets? You have no passion for helmets. You don't even ride a motorcycle, sort of thing. Right. What are you don't even wear a helmet when you ride a bike, like. Yeah. And so, like, that's the other thing is, like, we really look at the story and the passion for what's actually going on, because without those three things, you just can't scale, man. Like, if you don't have some uniqueness there, some really cool story, and some really actual genuine passion behind the product, I just feel like it's kind of a lost cause.
Yeah, I love it. So going back, it all goes back to leadership, man, getting the right people leading the team. And I think maybe even being aware, like, if you are not the one to lead in certain ways, bring on the right person to lead. And then, yeah, do you have some passion there? Absolutely. I love that. Any other takeaways either on what separates successful from unsuccessful, or just anything unique or interesting you've kind of picked up here lately from that consulting gig?
Oh, geez, man.
That's a tough question, but I know what's fascinating, and I get to do this too with the podcast or just with clients, getting to talk to and see a diverse group of business owners. It's always interesting. It always reminds me there's so many ways to be successful, and there's so many niches and areas out there where you can make money. And it's just always that's always interesting to see. But
yeah, I think the last thing I'd close, like, kind of promote is, like, when people are positioning and coming off products, like, customers can tell pretty quick if you're just looking for a one-off purchase or not. And so the other thing I like encourage people to do is, like, it's okay if you only have one or two products and you kind of want to do a company that way, but, like, don't invest your time or money in a product that's kind of like a one-off. Like, let's invest in a product line that's long-term.
Build a business, a real business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree. Well, Jared, man, this has been phenomenal. We've talked conversions, we talked traffic, we talked about overall success in business, we talked about hot sauce. So this has been a win, man. This has been fun. For those that want to check out what you're doing, obviously they need to go to skincarebyalana.com. Other sites they should check out, or can they check out on social media? How can they connect with Jared?
Yeah, I think just friend me on Facebook. Just search for Jared Mitchell. I think there's only like 4 of us on Facebook, and I'm the one that looks like a convict, so you'll find me pretty fast.
Your picture does look like a mugshot, yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. And my business card website, I'd say, is beefysite.com. And, maybe just get in touch with me that way, but I'm not, like, set up for, like, come follow me, guys. So
sure.
Just friend me and message me and like, let's hang out and talk.
That's perfect, man. Well, hey, for your maiden voyage, or even if you were a podcast veteran, you crushed it, man. That was really good. I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I hope I did well. I don't really know what to do or say. So hopefully, I was helpful and kind of followed the format and didn't talk too much.
Yep. No, it was perfect. It was perfect. So thanks again, Jared. And as always, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you spending your time with this podcast. And please let us know what you'd like to hear more of. Give us suggestions for topics. Also, as always, leave us a review on iTunes if you feel so compelled. And with that, thank you for listening.